If we keep quitting on our fitness goals every single time life gets chaotic, we are quietly training our brains to become experts at starting over instead of becoming experts at getting results. I thought consistency meant never missing a workout, never overeating, and never losing motivation while still always being on track. And what I didn't realize was this all or nothing mindset was the thing that was keeping me stuck. And these lessons that I've learned over the past years that I'm going to share with you in this video are the very lessons that would have saved me years of frustration, guilt, and even starting over. So in today's video, I'm going to share the 10 truths about consistency that changed the way I approach fitness today. But before we get into the video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for more content like this, because every single week I share honest strategies to help women navigate their fitness journey without extremes. All right, so let's get into the video and let's talk about what consistency actually looks like. Truth number 1, consistency will feel incredibly boring. Now, the fitness industry sells you a fantasy that every single morning you're going to wake up with a surge of adrenaline. You're going to put on that perfect matching gym outfit and have a wave of motivation. When in reality, this is a lie, because real consistency is incredibly boring. It looks like eating a similar variation of the same high-protein meal you ate yesterday. It looks like packing your gym bag and actually going to the gym when you'd rather sit on the couch and just binge watch Netflix. It looks like walking to the gym on a rainy Tuesday evening and doing the exact same exercises you did last week and the week before. And the women that actually transform their physique don't have this magical surge of motivation every single day. They're simply the women that learn how to tolerate the monotony of doing the same basic tasks day after day. Truth number 2, your results arrive long after your effort. And this is unfortunately where like 85% of women quit. In a world where we can get our groceries delivered in under an hour, we expect our bodies to react the exact same way in the exact same speed. But our biology does not work that way. Your efforts and results don't necessarily happen at the same time. You're going to start going to the gym and lifting heavy weights. You're going to start prioritizing eating a balanced meal. And you're going to even start prioritizing managing your stress or reducing your stress for the next 3 weeks straight. And then you're gonna go look in the mirror and you're probably not gonna see any changes. Your brain is simply going to tell you that you're not seeing results fast enough and that your plan is not working and that you might as well just go ahead and eat that cake. But what you need to understand is there is a massive time delay between your efforts and the visual payoff. And when you understand that this delay is completely normal, you're gonna stop panicking during these quiet phases. Now remember hearing the saying, you don't plant a seed and start trying to dig it up every single time to see if it's actually growing. You simply tend to it, you water it, and you wait and trust that the growth is actually occurring and that the growth is taking place beneath the surface. Now this idea stayed with me because it perfectly captures what consistency actually is. It's continuing to do the right things long enough for the results to actually catch up to the efforts that you're putting in. Truth number 3, this skill would test you more than the gym ever will. Now let's talk about the biggest psychological trap that you will most likely experience along your fitness journey. Think about that little digital box that exists or lives on your bathroom floor. Now you can have a complete quote unquote perfect week. You can hit your steps, you can hit your macros, you can even set a PR on your hip thrusts, and you are well rested this week. Yet you step on the scale on a Friday morning and you're expecting the results because you put in that effort. And what it shows you is you're up a pound. Now, if you don't understand how data works, this moment will completely break you. You'll assume that you completely failed and get super discouraged. And then as a result, you might eat your way through the weekend. But consistency means trusting the science. And if you're actually in a calorie deficit, if you're actually putting in the work, trust that you will eventually see that visual payoff. Now remember, the skill is one tool that you can use along your fitness journey, but it doesn't measure your worth. Because if you're actually putting in the work, your body composition changes will eventually show, regardless of what that temperamental little machine says on a random Friday morning. Truth number 4, consistency is really about managing your low days. Now remember, anybody can eat a balanced meal that meets your macros. Anybody can hit multiple PRs during a workout when you wake up with 10 10 out of 10 energy. The sun is shining, the calendar is finally clear. Now that isn't necessarily discipline, that's just you having a great day. Your transformation is determined by what you do on your worst days. Think about when you're getting home at late, you are exhausted from work and you had literally a nightmare of a day. What do you do in that case? True consistency in this case might mean lowering your expectations of what you can absolutely do, but it doesn't mean completely abandoning the plan. So if your goal was that 60-minute lift, but because you came home so late from work and you're so exhausted, now you're only able to get in a 30-minute lift, then you do that 30-minute lift. And if you have nothing prepared and nothing planned in terms of your meal, and if you can't cook a relatively healthy meal for whatever reason, you order a grilled chicken wrap instead of ordering that pizza, fries, chicken nuggets, burgers, and probably even a dessert to go along with it. You simply just need to keep your baseline intact and understand the 80-20 rule when it comes to having a balanced diet. Truth number 5, consistency feels like failure when it's actually working. When your body is actually shifting, for example, building that lean muscle and burning that fat at the same time, it really feels like that perfect Instagram or TikTok that you saw online. Most of the time, it feels like absolutely nothing is happening. It feels slow, it feels quiet, it feels completely ordinary. And because you're not seeing this dramatic shift every single day, your brain convinces you that you're actually failing. But the reality is real growth is silent. So the structural changes in your metabolism, your muscle tissue, and your fat cells happen incrementally. So you have to get comfortable with not seeing visible changes for a while. Truth number 6, you'll want to change the plan right before it actually starts working. Now, by now, we understand that we are living in an information overload era. The second that your fitness progress feels slow, I promise you, the TikTok and Instagram algorithm will show you a reel or a TikTok of someone saying that you can get results in the next 7 days. And because you're so frustrated with not actually seeing the results fast enough, you are going to be so tempted to jump and actually change ship. So you'll want to go from that balanced approach to severely starving yourself to getting the fastest results that you can possibly get. And this is why we fail to reach our fitness goals, because we're switching our plans every 3 weeks. But the problem is, every single time that you're changing your plan, and depending on how long it takes for you to get back to a new plan, you are essentially restarting your body's adaptation clock again. So what I want for you simply to do is pick a solid evidence-based system and stick to it long enough for your metabolic math to actually add up. Truth number 7, your expectations will hurt you more than your habits. Now, you might not actually be quitting your fitness journey because your habits are completely terrible. You might be quitting your fitness journey because your timeline is completely unrealistic. If you expect to undo the last 10 years of overeating completely highly palatable foods, existing in a high stress body, and experiencing that metabolic slowdown in the next 10 days, you're setting yourself up for emotional destruction. We need to understand what a real and sustainable body recomposition or weight loss journey actually looks like. Eating real food, of course. You're keeping your sanity. You're building muscle in a way that actually lasts. And this takes time. It's a very slow rebuild. So when you stop demanding that your body change practically overnight, the pressure is going to evaporate. And when the pressure evaporates, consistency is a lot easier to stick to, because you're not being constantly disappointed by the imaginary deadline that you've set for yourself. Truth number 8, comparison will convince you you are falling behind. Now, it's incredibly easy to compare your real, messy, behind the scenes life to somebody's highlighted, curated feed that you see online. But when you actually allow that comparison to seep into the depths of your mind, it's going to rob you of the joy of your own wins that you've actually achieved and accomplished. So think about this. Maybe you set a personal record for a back squat, or maybe you finally stopped overeating after 10 p.m. every single week. These are massive, life-changing victories for you. So don't let somebody else's artificial timeline convince you that your progress does not count. Truth number 9, the hard part isn't starting, it's restarting. Think about how much energy you need to put into restarting your fitness journey. Think about the grocery shopping. Think about the brand new workout clothes that you typically buy for yourself to keep you motivated. And think about the mental meal prep that you do on Sundays now. Starting is easy because it's fueled by a temporary burst of dopamine and excitement. Now, the real skill of fitness, the one that separates women who maintain their bodies from the ones that actually stay stuck, is the ability to keep going without giving up every few weeks. Now, remember, you're going to have a chaotic summer weekend. You're going to go to a restaurant with friends and family and probably eat the entire bread basket, drink that cocktail, and probably just overeat in general. That's simply called being a human. Now, the question isn't whether it will happen. The question is, what are you going to do the next day? Does your internal dialogue sound like you're speaking with your greatest enemy and declare the entire week a complete wash? Or do you wake up calmly the next day, drink your water, eat your balanced meals, go to the gym, and keep it pushing? Now, the faster that you can keep closing the gap between a slip up and your next best decision, the faster you're going to win. Truth number 10, the reward for consistency is more consistency. Now, I want to hold your hand here and give you some tough love. There is no magical finish line. There is no day where you're going to hit your specific goal weight, cross your arms, and say, I'm finally done. Now I can go back to my old habits. Because your old lifestyle and your old habits created the body that you are desperately trying to change right now. Now, the reality is your reward for building a healthy, strong, resilient mindset and body is now you have the privilege and the strength to maintain these habits for the rest of your life. And once you stay consistent long enough, the friction completely disappears. It stops feeling like this incredibly insufferable and difficult task that you're trying to avoid consistently. Simply becomes who you are. So if you take one thing away from this video, let it be this. Every time you tell yourself you need a complete reset, you are strengthening the habit of starting over instead of strengthening your habit to just simply continue along the journey. So before you leave, I want you to make a commitment to yourself in the comments. What's one thing you're committed to continuing this week, no matter what? And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for more content like this, and I'll see you in the next one.